The more I learn and try to know about humans and myself included to this, it's really hard to genuinely love one. And I know that sounds really corny and just a dude who's trapped in his room, constantly thinking and not going out, trying to make another sense and reason, like, make an excuse to reason why I don't want to make any friends or partner in my life. But it really is not the point. The reason why people complain in the first place, including myself, when I complain about the things about humanity, like how selfish we are in nature and how our mind, our brains are constantly loving, like we always love the idea of love more than the reality of the love itself. I am also guilty of this, and I'm sure I still am somewhat still there, just fantasizing love, the idea of love, instead of trying it out in the reality. And the reason I complain, let's just start with that. The reason many people start complaining is because they genuinely feel helpless. You see, like when there's this one line that I heard somewhere that goes something like, when someone curses you, when someone curses you or says bad thing about you, you should be happy about it, since that's the only thing that they can do. They have no other options left but to curse you, since that's the best thing that they can do. They feel helpless, but have this kind of anger or anything inside them, so they have to like let it out, and that's the only thing that they can do. So, in the same sense, when I complain about how shit this world is, those people who always complain about politics and how cooked this generation is, how cooked this dating market is, how men are evil, women are evil, kind of thing, women are all whores, or men are all pedophiles or predators, the kind of things that in social media you just see it so often, to the point you just genuinely build also, like, kind of it slide through, slide by your mind subconsciously, and you start kind of believing it, that majority of people are like that, but it actually is not true. You just go outside, just step outside, and you'll see, you interact with many people, and the reality isn't really that harsh or like that hateful, like in like online. And the reason being is they cannot help it. They cannot. They really want to have a girlfriend or boyfriend. I also am included to guilty of. I mean, I also I included myself. I want to have an actual friend. Soulmate, friendship of virtue, a partner in the future, maybe. The kind of friendship that I always dreamed of, or the kind of partner that I always dreamed of. But the reality doesn't seem, at least, promising. It's not looking good for us. That's why we start complaining, because like I genuinely want to do this, make this out. I really want to do well in this, but the reality really isn't looking good, and I cannot do it. Really feels like I feel like I'm helpless, and I cannot do something better to do better about this. So I'm just gonna complain about it. I know it's a loser mindset, but I just see it that way. Like, people who actually don't care wouldn't say that they don't care to, like, publicly, to be seen. That's also an act to be seen, to be acknowledged, like, hey guys, I say this, that I don't care about this subject. I say that I don't care about men or women, I don't care about dating, or I don't care about marriage. But it deep inside their minds, subconsciously, they are actually screaming the opposite one. Like, they genuinely want it. The reality is it's so harsh, or like they just feel like it's not looking good for them. That's why they say that. At least I see it that way. And the reason why I started this video as saying how shitty this humanity is because I think the fiction. I want to link this with cross this with fiction, because I was raised by reading lots of books when I was younger. I was a bookworm, Lego worm. We don't call it Lego worm. I loved Legos, the bricks and books when I was younger. I was so obsessed with them. I never was anime guy when I was younger. Actually, I got into anime and series, those kind of stuffs, back in the high school, junior high. But I always loved books. I always loved fiction novels, web novels. I didn't go to classic, and I'm trying to get into them, but it's really difficult. The terms are really hard, but that's not the point. I'm kind of tracking right now. The point is because I dreamed of the world that the kind of worlds that that are written and described like in the books or fiction books. I mean, both are fictions, but the point is, I got into this idea. This idea grew inside me that humans are such a beautiful species, beautiful creatures, and like we can do this much, and we can share, we can love each other. Like it's so beautiful, the humanity. But in real life, it really isn't. The fairy tales, cotton candy, the kind of thing. I actually forgot the expression though. It's just tough. It's the social daily basis um friends that you have or people that you talk with aren't the kind of people that you used to read in the books. The kind of virtuous friendships. I actually forgot the name of the best book, but like there's this one main character and there are a bunch of other side characters, but they all have their own ideologies. That's the thing. Fictional characters are fictional because they aren't real people, and the clear distinction between real people and fictional characters are that real people are much complex, obviously, but also they are contradicting. They are always contradictory, and they make mistakes. They are rattled so many times. They fail, and it takes a long time for a human to be developed from one phase to another. While meanwhile, in fictional characters, I mean, in fiction, in books, although reading books takes a lot much time to finish compared to reels or YouTube videos or reading articles, since they usually take up what, like, even if you go the old like deep dive in, it wouldn't even take you, like, if you actually lock in or focused on doing it, then it wouldn't even take like 2 hours, like reading every single articles that are related to it. So yeah, like it, and that's the clear distinction. And I always used to love these ideas of, like, in real life, when I become adult, or when I get into the kind of when I start living the kind of life that I really want, and I become independent, and I can just go out and interact with other human beings, and I can make friends, and learn a lot more from them. But in reality, like, everyone really seems pretty much the same. I don't mean that. I don't mean I could be also fall into this category from other person's perspective. I completely am aware of that, but at the same time, it just feels so dull. And I talked about this kind of numerous times in my YouTube channel before. And the reason why I'm keep saying over and over again is because I'm very disillusioned. The more I grow, and the more I grow older, it feels like I was told a lie. I was told lies when I was younger, which isn't their fault at all. It's not like my if I have my kids, if I have my kids and I have to raise them right, and like they have to be something like a pillar, like they are right and wrongs, and there are this kind of people, good people and bad people. It's really easy to distinct goods and bads so that they can kind of see the world in a much simpler way. But Recently, it's been tough. It really is not like I'm trying to find some kind of a soulmate, but it really feels like I do need to socialize, and whenever I try, it's like I'm expecting something that I don't even deserve from people, but and like when it doesn't meet, I get disappointed when they like it didn't even. How do I say this? I'm lost again. Okay, let me just rephrase it. I'm expecting something that they don't even need to give me. And I'm aware of this, and I'm aware of how long I've been isolating myself, and it kind of hurts me that maybe it kind of hurts me the feeling that it get about it hits me sometimes that I may have taken a bit too far, but what can I do now, you know? Maybe this is the way I chosen, and I just got to stick to it, and maybe one day I'll get used to it, you know? That's just how a skill is developed. The first time's really hard part, and once you get used to it, you just get away with it for years and tens of years, and that becomes yours. And I kind of treated isolation, you know, loneliness the same way. I thought I'll get used to it, and I guess it's not. It's pretty tough, you know. Mm. Didn't want to get emotional a little bit, but anyways, that really is about it. Thank you for watching the video.